Okay, so here we are for part 2 of WWE versus TNA pay-per-view. Going into our third match. Long loading screen. Oh, so we've got Chris Jericho coming to the ring. Who's he going to face? I think AJ Styles or Austin Aries would be a good match for Chris Jericho. So there's a current guy that I can think. Oh, Fall Out Boy coming on. Haven't listened to them for years. That's not even Fall Out Boy, that's Panic at the Disco. So here we have Chris Jericho versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. I think this whole entrance and random music thing is a bit odd. Oh, that's a pretty good Jeff Hardy call right there. So again, I'm going to choose Chris Jericho. Looks like I've got a massive WWE bias, and maybe I do, but I don't know. I always liked Jeff Hardy more than Chris Jericho back in the day, but I think like in recent years he's sort of let himself go. There's a video on YouTube and it's called Jeff Hardy on Drugs, and it just shows him kind of in his true light, just being an absolute idiot. Cuts to Matt Hardy, he's there eating some chips and he's saying, I don't know what CM Punk is still with Amy Dumas, and he's going on about how like she always rings him when she's having trouble with Punk, and I just felt like it was immature. Like, he can't help but talk about Lita, and this is like, I think this was like 2011, they've been broken up for years. I just think like the drugs and the alcohol just makes them into stupid people. So I've got a lot of respect for Jeff Hardy as a performer. I think his Swanton Bomb's awesome, he can get a crowd going, but I really just can't condone the whole drug use and the whole like acting crazy because you're on drugs. And like, if he's got help and if he's off drugs at any point, fair play to him. I take everything I've said back, because I think like people can change, but whilst he's still taking drugs and still being weird, I just don't really want to be watching that sort of thing. Whereas Chris Jericho, didn't like him when I was a kid, which probably meant he was doing his job while I was being a heel, but he's just I don't know, he's good. He has a lot of charisma, he gets the crowd going. Love watching his podcast, Talk is Jericho is the name of it. So yeah, that's why I'm choosing Chris Jericho. I might try and choose a TNA guy at some point, maybe, if I like them more than a WWE guy. So we'll talk about WWE 2K14 some more now, but not on kind of what it's actually got in it, but just Jeff Hardy, because every year when a new wrestling game comes out, you've always got people saying, we want Jeff Hardy, we want Jeff Hardy, and they actually feel like, well, it seems like they actually think that like Jeff Hardy could be in the game, and it's like WWE just like going against him and not putting him in it. What they don't realise is that he's under contract with another company, they can't put him in the game, and even if they could, he's not exactly got a good reputation, he's not been in the WWE for years. Why would they want to put someone like that in the game? Why would they want to put someone who, since leaving their company, turned up to a pay-per-view too drunk or like too under the influence of drugs to wrestle, so he had to lose the match in like 3 seconds? They're not going to have that sort of person on the game. He's going to have to come back and prove himself. But yeah, at the moment he's in a contract with another company, so it makes no sense. I only just realised after seeing that guitar in the crowd, this is a no disqualification match. So I've got my kendo stick. And don't get me wrong, like, I was watching TNA on YouTube not so long ago, watching the return of Matt and Jeff Hardy, and I enjoyed it. I can still enjoy, you know, their sort of athletic contributions to the wrestling world, but I just don't like the whole drugs and alcohol thing. It's not really something that I condone. I don't know, they seem to think it's cool. If you watch the video that I was saying about called, I think it's like Drugged Up Jeff Hardy or something like that, or Jeff Hardy on Drugs, you can just see that like Jeff Hardy's sort of promoting drugs and acting as if they're cool, and it's I'm sure they're fun. I'm sure that people have fun doing drugs, but at the end of the day, the amount of stories you hear about people who are addicted and they just get into a bad cycle and they end up dying, or you know, having a bad life, giving up their baby, getting raped by, you know, drug lords and stuff. It's just not cool. Like, I don't know why you'd want to promote that sort of thing. But I guess that's just Jeff Hardy for you. And for that reason, I don't want him to win this match. Yeah, Chris Jericho. I'm not saying that he doesn't do drugs. Maybe he does. Maybe he's worse than Jeff Hardy. But like the kind of vibe that he gives off is that he's a good guy. And even though some people might say that he's just like faking it if he does do drugs, like that he's sort of being a hypocrite or whatever by living a normal life but actually being a druggie, but at least he's not condoning it to people if he is doing it, whereas Jeff Hardy just seems to think like that everyone should do drugs. I just don't think that's cool, you know. Here we go. Oh, he's using his resiliency, which means it's time for another code breaker, and then Chris Jericho is going to retain the Intercontinental Championship. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Chris Jericho wins the match. Oh, don't even know what that was. Just had something else drop. That was a makeup bag. My girlfriend's makeup bag that she's left at mine. Whoops. So here we go. Chris Jericho, Intercontinental Champion. Defeated Jeff Hardy. Be interesting to know when this. I'd be interested to know when this story was actually made. See who was in TNA at the time, because it would be interesting to see some of the new guys who were former WWE people, like Brodus Clay and Tajiri and stuff. It'd be interesting to see them come back and have a match. Maybe I'd actually let, you know, someone like Tajiri win a championship, because I do like Tajiri and he's an ex-WWE guy, so maybe I do have a bias to WWE. My God, King, can you believe it? Says Michael Cole, saying, oh my. This is a really emotional night. Yeah, for TNA, they're getting their ass kicked. Okay, so we've got to be coming towards the end of this story now, I think. It's probably about 6 matches, so we've done 3. The Intercontinental Championship's been defended. Maybe this will be an American Championship match. Maybe a Tag Team Championship. I hope there's no more Tag Team matches. That Divas Championship match... No, sorry. Divas Tag Team match has completely ruined it. There's really no point to it. It'd be good if it was just a 1-on-1 match rather than 3-on-3. We just made it impossible to pin. So yep, American Championship match. Here we have Sheamus. Steve McQueen. I don't know who sings that song. Another random song that's just come on because they have no custom soundtrack, unless someone else put a soundtrack, so I've just replaced it with mine. I had Mark Henry's music, video. Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. Again, choosing a WWE guy. I liked Bobby Lashley sort of when he was in WWE. He, you know, big guy, threw guys around, did some good moves, belly to belly suplexes. Anyone that does that, I'm gonna like most likely. Can't even get him in the corner because the game's messed up. But yeah, I don't know. He just sort of he left, did the whole MMA thing. Why is this game just isn't working? Right, here we go. Sometimes my controller messes up, but there we go, I fixed it now. Yeah, I just don't really like Bobby Lashley these days. Like, he's still doing his MMA thing and wrestling, and he's sort of like, maybe it's just his character, but at the moment in TNA it's just boring, you know? Just like standing around constantly protected by MVP. Just boring. I want to see, like, I didn't even like AJ Styles that much, and people are going to hate me for that, but I'd rather see him running around causing trouble with like a face guy like Austin Aries fighting him, than some guy like Bobby Lashley is just going to stand there and be boring. I think the whole dynamic at the moment with you know, EC3, Rockstar Spud and Dixie Carter is great, and I think like Bubba Ray and people like going against them is great, but I don't know, I just don't see how Bobby Lashley and MVP fit into that. I keep nearly saying MPV. Don't really know what that means. MPV. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, I've always liked Sheamus. I always thought he was good, and there was a match that I saw about 2 years ago, and it was a 6-man tag team match. I can't remember much about it other than the fact that Sheamus was just taking everyone out. He ran up to the steps on the side, like, jumped on them, jumped off them onto like some people, took them down. He was just absolutely going at it, and I just, for a guy his size doing some of the stuff that he was doing, it was just really exciting, and for that reason I just think that Sheamus should win this match, personally. Obviously, just because I've chose Sheamus doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win, because I could get beaten, but I tend not to lose matches on this game. I am quite good at this game, so it shouldn't be too hard to score the victory.
Thus far, this has been a phenomenal championship contest. Who will win? Who's going home with the title?
Obviously Sheamus, even though I just said that he might not win. Oh, look at Bobby Lashley, looking like he's going to tap out there. I'm joking, that's just part of the animation. Straight into the signature move, going to go for the bro kick. It's the only real way to finish a match for Sheamus. At least it's the best anyway. If you want to see someone do the bro kick, back when it was with the bicycle kick, who's absolutely massive, search Albert or A-Train bicycle kick. I think it might have been A-Train when he did it. It's Tensai basically, or Matt Jason, or Jason, I don't know what his name is now, but he's in NXT as like an announcer guy, or like a backstage interviewer. Pretty big guy, I think he's like 6'8", 350 pounds. Did the same kick that Sheamus does, the bro kick or bicycle kick or whatever it was called at the time. It's pretty cool, so you should look at that on YouTube if you want to see a massive guy doing a bro kick. One of my favourite Sheamus moments is, I never really liked the Muppets. I don't want to hug the referee, what was that all about? Oh, just stop talking to the referee, Sheamus. Got a match to win here. Yeah, I don't really watch the Muppets, but they, obviously they've been on WWE a bit, but this is beforehand. John Cena was dissing Sheamus, and he like called him one of the guys from the Muppets, and I think it either showed a comparison or I looked the name up on Google, and it actually looks just like Sheamus, and yeah, that was definitely funny. Oh, what is he doing? Looked like he was going for the, get up taunt then, but he doesn't even have a finisher. I'll try and put this match to rest as soon as possible. And with a big slam there. Got another signature move. This is the Irish Curse, is it? Or was that the other one, the backbreaker one? I don't really know. So second bro kick of the match. This isn't put him away. Just gonna, I don't know, punch him in the face a few more times. There we go, 3 count on Bobby Lashley. Okay, so we're going to have to go into a third part quite soon. Sheamus still the US champion. We'll have a little commentary from the commentators and then go into the third part. Hopefully there'll only be 1 or 2 more matches. Gotta say though, I quite like some of these matches so far. Kane vs Abyss is pretty cool. The Divas match obviously terrible because there were 6 of them and it just made it hard to win. But in reality, I guess it'd be good to watch if it was a real pay-per-view. Jericho versus Hardy. I mean, that's quite a historic, feud and match right there. So that'd be quite good. What was the other match? I can't remember. What physical match that was, Taz? You right, King. And now we continue with the light heavyweight battle royal. When I say I can't remember the match, I think it was the one that I just had, Sheamus versus Bobby Lashley. Wouldn't be my choice for Sheamus to face Bobby Lashley, but I can imagine they'd make a good match out of it. Anyway, that's the end of this part. Part 2 this has been. If you liked it, please give it a like, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in part 3.